This is Pembroke, a unique place filled with character. This documentary will highlight some of the people and the organizations that makes the university a little different.
UNCP's First Lady, Sarah Carter, is one of the busiest people here on campus, and today we get a chance to talk with her. Hi, I'm here sitting with UNCP's First Lady, Sarah Carter. How are you today?
I'm great, Rhonda. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. All right, Ms. Carter, so now that I have the pleasure of sitting here talking to you, I want to find out about the many aspirations you have going on and stuff going on in your life right now. How have you been so active?
Well, I enjoy doing things. I enjoy the people and I enjoy the activities. So being involved in campus life is something that gives me great pleasure. So I aspire to do that.
Oh, right, great. And I noticed your beautiful artwork you have sitting here. How do you find time to manage campus activities and your own passion, your artwork?
That's a big challenge. I paint porcelain, and it's a very tedious and time-consuming prospect. So I have to find large blocks of time to do it. I can't go just haul everything out and work for 15 minutes and then put it all back up. So I have to find large blocks of time. So I don't paint as much as I would like to, but I get to do it. And when I have time to paint, it is wonderful. I lose track of all time and place. So I enjoy it greatly.
How do you manage being the chancellor's wife and being a former educator?
I used to teach kindergarten and first grade, and I absolutely loved it. It was joyful for me. And I've always been involved in Kyle's university work as well as my own. And so it was too difficult for me to balance both things as he moved up the ladder. So this is pretty much a full-time job, being First Lady. And if I was trying to teach school as well, I couldn't. In fact, I love going out to the schools and reading to the kindergarten and first grade classes. And this year, I've been so busy that I haven't gotten out a single time. And that brings me great joy. So I'm disappointed that I haven't had the chance to do that, but I haven't given up yet.
Don't do that.
School's not out yet, so
yes,
I'm hoping I get to a few schools before the spring break, the summer break.
Great. Now, what is your role here at UNCP?
I think there are several facets to that role. One is, of course, to be the university's main #1 volunteer and supporter, and I love doing that. I enjoy just about everything I go to. I go to a lot of sporting events and dinners and other things, so I enjoy that part. I enjoy being the volunteer and the supporter. Another thing is to be the hostess of the university, and so I have worked real hard to create a welcoming and beautiful home for any guests to the Chancellor's residence. This home is a representation of the university and of Kyle and of me, and so it's important for our home to be a nice reflection of that. I also support my husband. You know, I do everything that I can to make sure that his life is as good as it can be and as stress-free as it can be when we're together.
So what is your average day like?
Every day at 5:30. And Kyle is a great husband. He makes me cappuccino and brings it to me. And then usually by 6 we are out walking the dog, walking campus. We walk all the way as far as you can go and a little bit beyond up to the facilities building and then back down through campus. A lot of days I'll go and walk the track afterwards. Dooley's not allowed on the track, so he he begs out of that one, but he gets a couple miles in every day. And then I also do 25 minutes or so of yoga each day, just to give me that calm center. And then I am usually on the run after that. I will have meetings either from the committees I'm on or some planning something. Right now we're working on planning the Board of Trustees. We have a Board of Trustees retreat in June as well, so I was working on that today. All kinds of things are always going on with the house, so that's just an ongoing. We're planting a garden. We have a beehive out there. I generally, I mean, I have to keep an eye on that. We're working on the spring luncheon for ladies. I think I planned, we were working on menus for 5 events yesterday when I met with food service. So I do a lot of event kinds of things. And then if I have a chance to paint, I do that. I also have to, pick up the dry cleaning and the prescriptions and all of those kinds of things. And then I usually will cook dinner for Kyle and myself if we're at home, and we'll watch a movie or a DVD or something like that.
All right, so being the First Lady, you see a lot of stuff that goes on campus. What are some things that you would like to see changed that are on campus?
I would like to raise the student awareness about consumption of water and resources, heat, all of those things, so that not only are we bringing the cost down for the university, but we're being more mindful of our planet and the needs. I'd also love to see more recycling, more concerted recycling. It drives me crazy when I go past a trash bin and I see water bottles sticking out of it, because there are recycling bins on every floor of every building on our campus, and in a lot of not outdoor, but lobby areas. And it's so easy to put that water bottle in there, or that juice bottle, the Gatorade, whatever, and to recycle. So I would love to see more of that. The other thing I would love to see is students staying in the dining hall to eat instead of using those deadly styrofoam containers to take their food out of the dining hall. I can't imagine the amount of garbage that we create each day, because some students will go to the dining hall 3 times a day and take out at least one styrofoam container per day. And if you count that up by the number of students we have doing it, it's enormous. So I would love to see that reduced. We are going to have the dining hall and the bottom floor of the UC completely redesigned this summer, and I'm hoping that is also going to encourage students to stay there. It's going to be much more student friendly. We should have a salad bar that's accessible, visible, with greater variety of offerings. Our new chef has put a lot of things out there. He has a hummus of the day. He puts out a lot of interesting things on the salad bar, and so I love to go in there and get their salad bar. But it's not very visible to students, and if you want students to make healthy choices, then you have to provide something that is visually appealing as well as interesting to eat. So I'm hoping that the dining hall renovations will encourage students to stay in the dining hall, and that we'll see a greater involvement. I'd like to work with the SGA to get more recycling bins outside. I think if we had outside bins, that would cut down on a lot of the recycled materials that go into our garbage.
Yes.
I sat down with the GBLT at their second drag show of the year. The members and the performers sat down and explained to me what their roles are on campus.
Since there's an LGBT presence on campus, it's important for a group like Saga to be known, and it's a place where they can come, where LGBT students can come and just have other people who are like them, who have similar stories, similar experiences as far as coming out, or maybe they're struggling to come out. It's just a good place, it's a safe place that they can come. And you know, we do education on campus, so they can participate in that as well. And I think Saga, the education that Saga brings to this campus is needed because this is a small town, so people might not be aware of the LGBT issues because it is a small town.
For members of the LGBT community. A lot of people are afraid to come out to their friends, come out to their family members, even if they're here on campus and their friends and family members and home are 2-3 hours away, they still carry that anxiety. Saga offers a place where they know they can come out and be who they are and nobody will be judged.
Okay, so incoming freshman, somebody who just
Bi, and when I came out to my parents, it was relatively simple. I mean, I just called my mom and gave her a hypothetical situation. Like, I called her and asked her, "Hey mom, what do you say if I told you I like guys?" She was like, "I don't know." I was like, "Okay. Oh, by the way," and I told her, "What would you say if I was bi?" She goes, "I don't know." I was like, "Okay, well, talk to you later." "Oh wait, yeah, I'm bi." And then that was it. And then later on, she told me that she had a feeling I was all the time. So it's something new in her world. So it was, for me, it was really easy.
So for some, it's a little more difficult than that.
Because when you are afraid and when you can't accept yourself, sometimes you can't see other people's acceptance. Other times you have kids who want to come out, but they don't have anyone they can come out to. The more you come out, the easier it is. So Saga, in a way, I think offers that first step to where a person can come out, be less anxious and have less anxiety over about their sexuality and being accepted, and maybe that can help them grow and develop to where they can come out to other people. They know who to come out to at the right times.
Yeah, I mean, you take what you learn here. I mean, college campuses are so diverse anyway, but to add this into it, they can maybe go home and educate and maybe change, not really change the opinions, but kind of alter them a little, just so more people are more open-minded when they do go home to, you know, to other ways of life.
Okay, so what? Surprise question. So what other activities? I see that y'all are getting ready for a drag show, but what other type of activities do y'all promote to include students who may have homophobia or may not just understand anything?
Yeah, well, I particularly do safe zone trainings, and that educates students and faculty who may not know as much about the LGBT community and probably want to become allies to LGBT students. So that's an education thing. Next Monday, we're actually having an Amendment 1 workshop that'll focus on Amendment 1, which will, if it's passed, it will write into the state constitution that marriage is defined between one man and one woman, and we don't want that. So just, forgot the question.
It's all good. What other activities do you promote that help include students who don't really know about LGBT or who might, I guess, what they say, are in the closet, who might want to come out? What other activities do you promote to help those students deal with those issues?
I think, I mean, even just like the drag show, and we're also having a performance by Rocco Catastrophe and Athens Boys Choir, which are transgendered artists, and they're going to come and do a performance. It's like a hip-hop spoken word. So just having those kind of performances, it doesn't even have to be an educational program, but just having that on campus so students can come to them and see and just be in that atmosphere. It's very friendly and open, and just for them to be in that is a good thing to have.
Okay, and final question, what do you think that the campus can do to improve communications between Saga and I guess other students who don't really understand homosexuality or gender?
I just think there needs to be more open-mindedness as far as if you have a student who comes to you who might be LGBT and they ask you for something, like to hold a program or to bring something to campus, you know, be open to it. Don't say, well, I don't like that lifestyle, or I don't know much about that lifestyle. I don't want to do that because I don't know how the community will react. Like, it can't be like that. You need to be open-minded and open to change. I think that it just needs to be more awareness also. I think and we can bring that to the campus. That's what we're trying to bring. Saga's trying to bring more awareness. So I think when that awareness comes, then it'll ease the conversation between LGBT groups and other groups on campus as well, once they see our presence is growing.
A lot of Saga members have done the Safe Zone training, because I personally have done it. So I often tell a bunch of my friends that if you have anything like that, tell me. I'm Safe Zone certified. Like, I'm here for you. So, and I always point them, if they want a safe, comfortable zone to talk to the people who have been through that, to come to Saga, and we'll.
It's because it gives people another view that transgender people, which not all of us are transgendered, transgendered people are not freaks of nature. They are not people who are trying to hide their sexuality. They're not trying to just blend in with everyone else. There's a lot of transgender people and drag queens and drag kings who come out and they do this. They perform. They're performers. They get up on stage, they do their songs, and they get to express how they feel through other people's songs. And they also get to be themselves on stage in a way that they don't have to be judged for.
One of the most interesting things about college is the Greek life. Many students come and join these organizations, but I ask students who are not involved in Greek life, what do they think?
I think that Greek life is just like all these like dudes and chicks just hang out and party and do like crazy stuff on the weekends.
I really like what they do, but I don't want to perhaps put a specific organization in a brotherhood. I like to more commune with everyone and not be specifically involved with any particular alliances.
I've never gone Greek because I've never met people from an organization that really seemed like somewhere where I would fit. And it's not really the kind of thing I see myself doing anyway.
And in high school, I was just a normal student. I was in sports my freshman and sophomore year, and then after sophomore year, I didn't really care. I was just ready to get out of high school and move on with my life. So being in Greek has definitely taught me to hold myself to a higher standard and live out the standards that my founders have set for us. And I can definitely say that it benefits.
Before being a student, I was just a normal student. I cheered, I was, in sports, just basically the normal thing that we do in high school. But since becoming a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, it's made me a better woman, made me a better individual, made me a better student, because I actually have something that I can give back to, and I represent my sorority. So it makes me want to better myself as a person so that I can fulfill those desires that our founders did.
I think my Greek life experience changed me in a number of ways. I think each person's Greek life experience may be different, and it can vary a number of ways of how a person changes or how a person grows from it. But I think that's the ultimate goal for a person to grow eventually through your Greek experience and becoming Greek. For me, I say that it's definitely taught me a number of life lessons as far as practicing restraint, being accountable, being responsible, having my priorities in order. So if it teaches you. For our organization, we preach manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift, and all those things I think are imperative as far as becoming a great man and a successful man. So those are the things I learned in my life as far as through my Greek experience and becoming a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity.
J.R. Washington sat down with Paul Marshall, treasurer of Phi Beta Sigma, and discussed the role that Greek organizations play on the campus community.
My name is Paul Marsh. I'm a senior here at Pembroke, super senior. I'm very involved on campus. Like, I'm a member in ACE. I'm the treasurer of my fraternity, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. I'm a student ambassador here. I'm a study abroad, not necessarily an intern, but I volunteered with study abroad, so I went abroad 3 times.
What significant role do you feel that Greek life adds to the collegiate career?
That can add to Greek life, add to the collegiate. It really come off as, like, I would first off say like a brotherhood. given a sports team or any club on campus can be considered a brotherhood because you all share the same beliefs, the same goals, or what have you. But it's just one of them things that it sticks with you forever. So like even with my football team, I'm still close with those guys to this day, like point blank period. So with a fraternity, especially in my organization, it's a lifelong commitment. So that one thing alone is let you know that people will always be there for you, even if it's not from your chapter, there's always gonna be somebody there. Service is also another thing. Like I said, we're a community service-based organization, so that comes first for us. Like we always want to give back from which we came. And that's just one of the main things that we're always advocating is make sure that the community service is always done and make sure we always give out a helping hand. As we did yesterday with our March for Trayvon Martin. And it's no limit to leadership roles also. Like the last thing I'll say, like there's no limit to leadership roles you can have in an organization. It's not just from being on the exec board, but just from being able to be out in front of a student, being out in front of students in general, you know, it gives you it's almost like a leadership role in itself because people look up to Greeks, even though it doesn't seem that way in all situations. But it's like a student will look up to a person in the Greek organization because sometimes it's something that they aspire to be or something they want to be a part of. So of course they want to learn about it. They want to take heed to everything that you're saying. So that leadership role alone, like I said, outside of being on the exec board, is definitely something that you can take and run with for a long time.
Being in a remote place, how do you feel your fraternity overcomes the obstacles of doing community service?
It's a weird question a little bit. I understand you. I understand what you're saying.
And
I'm saying it's weird because no matter where you go, how big or small the town, there's always going to be a need for a helping hand. And like I said, we're a community service-based organization, so like I said, that comes first to us. So reaching out, giving back, like even one of the oldest brothers in our fraternity always said that we are to be a part of the community rather than apart from, and that we should always give back from which we came. So that being said, we always try to reach out to Oldham Home, which is right next door to us. Basically a foster home, if you will, for underprivileged kids, and we always try to do clothing drives for them. When it came to Christmas time, like we always like to give back to little kids, especially in Fayetteville, to where we had a bike, I guess you call it a bike rally, to where we went and we fixed up bikes and presented them to kids. And it's shocking to see that even kids in middle school have never received a bike before, never rode one, but now they have a free one in front of them, and this is the look on their faces. So it's a lot of things community service based, especially in this small county, and being that Robeson County is one of the poorest in North Carolina, we always do sleep out for homeless, and that's just basically advocating for homelessness awareness, especially in this area, and just making sure that people are aware that, like I said, this is one of the poorest counties in North Carolina, and that homelessness is a real issue, and especially affecting this area of North Carolina. So being that it's a small community, I guess you could say it's a good thing because a lot of things are reoccurring, so you can always focus on those few events that you can really tailor a lot of your programming towards, rather than like dibble-dabbling in 7 or 8 other events. We can really focus the majority of our presentations or programs into 1 or 2 concrete ideas and really drive home the effort to help those people in need.
Okay. Do you feel that your fraternity gets involved with national causes often?
So which we wholeheartedly like really put a lot of effort into, simply because, especially in men, African American men, prostate cancer is one of the leading causes of death among the men of my race. So we really wanted to make sure that a lot of people are aware and the effects it can have on the African American community. But it doesn't just consist of prostate cancer. Heart, like anything with lung cancer, breast cancer for women, it's just us waging war against cancer, as the acronym's saying. And also, the project we just did, the Trayvon Martin Walk, the candlelight vigil, that's one of the first things that we've done on this campus, and I'm proud to say that we were one of the first to actually reach out and not necessarily put Pembroke on the map, but bring awareness to Pembroke for the situation. A lot of people didn't know about it. So being that we did go out, and to us it was going to be something small, because we thought it was a few people on campus that really was feeling a certain way about it. So we was like, okay, well, maybe a small event, but we're prepared for prepared for a bigger crowd. So we was preparing for maybe 100 or so people. number was almost tripled. So it was like one of the biggest causes we had out here in a long time. So to have that many people on one accord in this area, and it wasn't just students, so to have everybody on that same accord, it really, even though it's not a national program of ours, it really felt like that national cause should have been served, and we're happy that we were able to put on for that on our campus.
Okay. What changes would you personally like to see happen on this campus to make it more Greek-friendly and more inviting towards other students?
I would really say that when I came to college, I was completely oblivious to Greeks. I knew nothing of it. But being on campus, when I did come in, you saw Greek letters on dorms and everything. So of course you're curious, what is that? I have no clue what that is. What is a Zai sign? What is a Psi sign? Like stuff like that. It's like, but being that we had those on the walls, like I said, it sparked interest, and you go and find out what that is. And now we had to take the letters down because they were wearing because of age. But still, I feel like having letters around campus, no matter where, but having that somewhere where it's visible can really spark interest. Like again, like I said, it did to me. I'm sure it'll spark interest in another generation of children, or excuse me, not children, young adults. And also another thing, being that I'm in NPHC, which is National Pan-Atlantic Council, which is basically also considered Divine Nine, which is non-Black Greek organizations, having plots. And it's been a stretch we've been trying to get out here for a long time now, but having plots is just something that's historical to all 9 of our organizations. It's just a small section of, literally a small plot of land for your organization. So me and my brothers or my sisters, we go and sit and talk, converse, have fun on our little plot. But it's not to say that we're individual from everybody else. Excuse me, we're individual, but not to say that we're separated from everybody else. Because in that same area, you'll have all 9 organizations. So it'll be the Sigmas, the Zetas, the Kappas, like everybody be in the same area. But having a plot just showing that the university is willing to step out and go beyond the norm, because we are a minority, and showing that they are willing to extend that hand and bring us in and let them know more about our side of Greek life, because it's more than just the stepping and the hopping and the calls and everything like that. It's way more to it. But starting off with plots, like in that aspect, it'll definitely spark interest in more students to make them want to become Greek, not just with Divine Nine, but they'll want to know more about the rest of the organizations. Like I said, we're having more letters around campus. So I definitely believe that'll be a big factor in that.
God is good. God is good. This is the day that the Lord has made.
Tierra Washington also found out that Greek organizations are important to the campus because of their community service commitments.